Hey guys, welcome back to Only Stupid Answers with our brand new, nope, it's not new, Hey guys, welcome back to Only Stupid Answers, here with another movie review. Only movie answers, see, clever. Today we're going to be talking about Ready Player One. Oh boy. We were able to go to a screening thanks to our friends over at Stardust, so make sure you download that Stardust app, start doing reviews, especially for Ready Player One, but all the things that we review, that way we can look at it and we can all chat about it. Ready Player One is directed by Steven Spielberg. You're familiar with him. He worked on one of the dinosaur movies. Two of them. This movie is also written by Zach Penn and Ernest Cline, who also wrote the novel Ready Player One. Everyone who is a nerd or who grew up in the 80s probably read that book and told you to read it too, and you didn't. You have like 7 copies in your room, and you've never read it, correct? Yes. This movie also stars Tye Sheridan, Olivia Cooke, and Ben Mendelsohn. He's great in this movie. And here's a quick synopsis. When the creator of a virtual reality world called the OASIS dies, he releases a video in which he challenges all OASIS users to find his Easter egg, which will give the finder his fortune. Now guys, there's been a lot of talk around this movie. A lot of people have been criticizing it since the book came out. The book has a very big following behind it, but also some people say it relies too much on 80s references. That's what the basis of the entire book is, by the way. No spoilers, that's how the movie plays out and the book plays out. And there was some worry behind the movie because it was so heavy with the references to old movies or TV shows or toys or video games. You get it. I wouldn't say I was very excited to see it, but I'm happy to report I was pleasantly surprised. I enjoyed this movie from top to tail. There's a few nitpicks, of course, with any movie that you see, but it was thoroughly enjoyable, and when a character pop up that I actually like recognized, and it was just in the background, like there's a couple big battle scenes, so it's just filled with references, and like if you happen to catch one character that you really like, I gasped in the theater. I was like, ah, damn it. That means they got me. They won this one. So if you're on the fence about this movie, I do recommend seeing it. There's some references you might not get because there's millions of references to movies that you wouldn't know. Buckaroo Banzai, everyone's seen that movie? I have. It was on like HBO Family at like 1 p.m. when I was sick in elementary school. Super weird movie, but big reference to that one in this movie. Anyways, when we do our reviews, we'd like to talk about 3 positives and then 1 nitpick, one little problem that we have with it. And to kick it off with the positives, I'd say right off the bat, the animation, the CGI in this movie is top-notch. Now, because this mainly takes place in a virtual reality world, they're not trying to trick you into thinking that this is a real place. So you have the freedom as a viewer to not be hypercritical of what you're looking at, but the artists behind this and all the filmmakers and the crew still wanted to make something that was visually beautiful to look at, and it truly is. And there's a lot of emotion they're able to capture in all these different characters, and some characters are a little less human looking than others, but still you're able to really connect with them, and you get like little tiny like little ticks, like someone's like someone, so you're kind of getting like a little eye squint, or you get some like little variations in what their voice, or how their voice sounds, and how their voice looks, you know how that works. Or they are able to play around with certain mechanics of the game, like if someone were to take off their headset, what would happen to the character in the game? And the way a lot of the worlds work is very creative, so I do want to praise them on that. The CGI is beautiful. And speaking of the acting, I do want to praise the direction. It's Steven Spielberg, so of course it's going to be great. But also, there's a little bit of him in this. Of course, this movie probably couldn't be made with as many references if it wasn't made by Steven Spielberg, because as soon as he comes and asks for something, I'm sure a studio's like, oh, of course. You want to use Gundam? You want to use Iron Giant if you want to? Of course. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It's like, of course you can use that. Tracer from Overwatch. Yes, and trust me, I'm not spoiling any characters. Those are all in the trailer, and there's a million more that you haven't seen yet. Trust me, you're in for a treat. But also, Steven Spielberg has a way of getting his actors to go the extra mile. And of course, if you're a young actor or actress and you're asked or cast into a Steven Spielberg directed film, you're gonna go the extra mile. And a lot of these actors, like Tye Sheridan, my only experience watching him, I know he's a good actor, but I had only seen him in X-Men Apocalypse, so there's not a lot for him to do there. So in this, I was very impressed by his performance, and I think that really mainly came out because of the direction. And finally, I want to talk about the action, because there is an opening scene. You can see it in the trailer. There is a race, but it is one of the best directed action scenes I've ever seen. Now, it does all happen in a virtual world, so they kind of have the freedom to do whatever they want, but it does happen in basically one take, and that's pretty cool. Also, the references to other pop culture things, one very specifically a Steven Spielberg property, pops up in the race, and that was the first time I smiled so stupidly big in the theater. It's amazing. Look how big he is. Spoilers. And of course, you see in the trailer, there is a final battle where there's just millions upon millions of characters fighting one another, fighting the main antagonist of the film. It's amazing the way they're able to choreograph such a complex scene while still making it beautiful and you're still able to follow it. I'm trying my best not to say spoilers because there are a lot of little secrets or Easter eggs, the whole premise of the movie, that I wouldn't want you guys to be spoiled on. So I say go see it if you want a fun time, but my one nitpick is I think the plot, the main story for our characters, their journey throughout the whole thing is kind of weak. It's something you've seen before, and it doesn't really try anything too new. As soon as I said that, I was like, no, they don't. The way it's presented to you is in a new way, which is exactly what, like a superhero film, you're gonna get basically the same Iron Man, Spider-Man origin over and over again, but if they can present it in a new way, you'll fall in love with it, and that's what this movie does. But the more I think about it, the movie isn't groundbreaking in its storytelling, but a lot of the visual choices they do, the exact middle of the movie, I try not to say any spoilers, they take a concept to the furthest they can with it. Has to do with a movie. A lot of the movie has to do with a movie, but you'll know what I mean once you see it. It's an amazing piece of filmmaking when you're able to see it. Oh man, I want to say spoilers. Don't worry, guys. We'll be able to do that in the main podcast episode, so make sure you tune in for that. But before I go, let's give a quick rating. I think the movie takes place in 2045, so out of 2045, I think I give it between a B+ and an A-. Again, I know that's really high, and while my nitpick still stands, it's so enjoyable, and it's such a beautiful thing to look at. I think I'm definitely gonna go see it one more time in theaters. Yeah, an A-, B+, so that's a 2045, like a 1900. That sounds like a great SAT score, right? Like, let's pretend like I got anywhere near that. Anyways, guys, let us know what you thought of Ready Player One in the comments down below, or on Twitter at OnlyStupidAnswers. Yank out the vowels from stupid. Hit up OnlyStupidAnswers.com. Join our newsletter so you don't miss out on any of the fun announcements we got coming up. Also, we got a Patreon. We have a show on there called Super TV Showdown, where we talk about all the superhero shows and comic book shows that are out. Literally all of them, even iZombie, even Gotham. But make sure you tune into the main podcast episode. It comes out every Monday, and so our spoiler-filled discussion, which is going to be so much fun because I have so much to say, and I'm trying to be really careful right now not to spoil this movie for you guys. It's going to be a blast. So after the official release of this movie, we're able to see it early. You'll get the full spoiler filled the following Monday. That's how it's going to work. So make sure you tune into that. Rate and review on iTunes. We always like when you do that. But anyways, guys, like, subscribe, do all the fun stuff that you like to do, and we'll see you next time.